Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, PL 1975, specifying the time, date, location, login, or dial-in information, and to the extent known. The agenda by posting a copy of the notice of the municipal building, municipal court, 2 municipal library bulletin boards, municipal website, providing a copy to the official newspapers of the township, and by filing a copy in the office of the township clerk in accordance with the certification by the clerk, which will be entered into the minutes. In order to ensure a clear record of the meeting can be made and that all parties are heard in an organized fashion, all members of the public that are participating remotely will be muted during the meeting. The township will provide for public comment periods for both remote and in-person attendees separately. If a member of the public wishes to speak during any public comment portion for remote attendees, please raise your hand. This can be done either start on your phone to unmute and begin making your comments. All members of the public will have 3 minutes to speak and should ask any and all questions they may have during that period. At the conclusion of your 3 minutes, remote attendees will be muted. In-person attendees will receive 3 minutes to Siri, would you please take the roll?
Councilwoman Cahill, Councilwoman Carmichael, Councilman Espinosa, Councilwoman Lombardi,
Here.
Councilman Rouse,
Here.
Councilman Shaw,
Here.
Council President Aaron.
Here. Please stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 5, comments from administration and council regarding adjournment of any matters on the agenda.
None at this time.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move the proclamation up to item number 6. So proclamation, police and citizen heroes. Michelle?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out for this very well-deserved commendation. So the proclamation states, whereas Piscataway Township Police Department patrol officers Lance LeBrew, Michael Medvecki, and Kyle Snyder, and Lake Nelson area resident Dennis Gilbert jumped into action on the night of May 13th, 2023, when a vehicle broke through a guardrail on Metlers Lane and crashed into the waters of Ambrose Brook adjacent to Lake Nelson. And recognizing the severity of the emergency as the vehicle was almost entirely submerged, the officers, Mr. Gilbert, immediately entered the murky water, located the driver, and began life-saving efforts. And whereas LeBrew, Medvecki, and Snyder embody the dedication, courage, and professionalism reflective of high values of the Piscataway Township Police Department, and Mr. Gilbert embodies the true essence of citizen hero, a dedicated member of the community whose first and foremost thoughts are to come to the aid of those in need. And whereas their commitment to serving our community is truly inspiring. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Brian C. Waller, Mayor of the Township of Piscataway, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, acknowledge my sincere appreciation to these individuals for their remarkable bravery and commend them for their exemplary actions and exceptional character on July 18th, 2023. And so would all of those men and the policemen and our resident please come up.
we're going to move on to the meeting now. If you don't want to stay, it's okay. All right, open to the public. Comments regarding item number 10, consent agenda items. If you wish to speak at this time, please raise your hand on Zoom app or by phone by pressing *9. When it is your turn to speak, you'll receive or hear a request to unmute yourself. Please click the prompt or press *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. At that time, please state your name and address and know that you have 3 minutes in which to make your comments. The council or administration will respond if necessary after you have completed any comments or questions. This is remote first.
Council President, there are no remote employees with their hand raised at this time.
Okay, I'm going to close the remote portion. For the public portion, for in-person attendees, if you wish to speak at this time, please come up to the podium, state your name and address, and know that you have 3 minutes in which to make your comments. You may take a seat after completion of your comments or questions, and the council administration will respond if necessary. This is for the consent agenda, item number 10. You press the
Item
button.
number 10, Resolution 8, H. Why is it just the veterans who received 100% disability are entitled for any kind of tax debate? Why can a person who has 80% disability have some kind of percentage in that disability as a tax rebate?
So that's the way.
Item H.
Yep, that's the way state law is written. We don't determine it. It's subject to state law and it's subject to 100% disability from the Veterans Administration. There are other programs available that you can talk to the tax collector about. There's the New Jersey Savers Program and a few other ones for senior citizens that you can talk to the tax collector
Is it
about.
possible you can inform us of that condition that there's an 80% disability person right here?
Yeah, you're not.
Is not entitled to anything.
No. There are some senior citizen programs with the New Jersey Freeze, New Jersey Savers that you can contact. You could contact their tax office, and they'll be glad
I
to
wish
talk to
very
you about.
much that you have that kind of information for us. Thank you.
Item number 8, open. Okay, I'm going to close the public portion for the consent agenda item. Item number 8, second reading, amending the salary, compensation, and classification plan for officials and employees of the township and amending Chapter 2, Administration, Section 18, Division of Police. This is open to the public resolution. Mrs. Cedar, would you please read the ordinance?
Be it resolved by the Township Council of Piscataway Township, New Jersey, that an ordinance entitled Ordinance to Amend and Supplement the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Piscataway, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending salary, compensation, and classification plan for the officials and employees of the Township of Piscataway, and amending Chapter 2, Administration, Section 2-18, Division of Police, was introduced on the 27th day of June 2023, and had passed the first reading and was published on the 2nd day of July 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the aforesaid ordinance, having had a second reading on July 18th, 2023, be adopted, passed, and after passage be published together with a notice of the date of passage or approval in the official newspaper. Be it further resolved that this ordinance shall be assigned number 2023-23.
This is open to the public. For remote attendees, if you wish to speak at this time, please raise your hand either on Zoom app or by phone by pressing *9. When it is your turn to speak, you receive or hear a request to unmute yourself. Please click the prompt or press *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. At that time, please state your name, your address, and know that you have 3 minutes in which to make your comments. The council administration will respond if necessary after you have completed any comments or questions.
Council President, there are no remote attendees with their hand raised at this time.
I'm going to close the remote portion. For in-person attendees, if you speak at this time, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and know that you have 3 minutes in which to make your comments. You may take a seat after completion of your comments or questions, and the council administration will then respond if necessary. It's item number 8.
It's on a particular ordinance, item number 8 on the agenda.
I see none, I'm going to close the in-person attendees. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Sita, would you please take the roll?
Councilwoman Lombardi,
Yes.
Councilman Rouse,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Council President Ern.
Yes, item passes. Item number 9, ordinance on a first reading, amended Chapter 20, Land Subdivision, and Chapter 24, Site Plan Review. It's a resolution adopting ordinance. Mrs. Sita, would you please read the ordinance?
Be it resolved by the Township Council of Piscataway Township, New Jersey, that an ordinance entitled Ordinance to Amend and Supplement the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Piscataway, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 20, Land Subdivision, and Chapter 24, Site Plan Review, be and is hereby adopted on the first reading. That it be published in the official newspaper, and that a second reading and public hearing be held at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time at the Piscataway Municipal Building, 455 Hose Lane, Piscataway, New Jersey, as well as by remote meeting format on the 15th day of August 2023. Be it further resolved that a copy of this ordinance shall be posted in at least 2 public places within the township prior to the day of the second reading and final passage, and a copy of this ordinance shall be made available at the office of the township clerk for any interested member of the public.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Sita, would you please take the roll?
Councilwoman Lombardi,
Yes.
Councilman Rouse,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Council President Ern.
Yes, item passes on the first reading. Item number 10, consent agenda resolutions. For efficiency, items have been consolidated into consent agenda to be voted on together. The materials of these items have been distributed to the council in advance of the meeting. At this time, are there any items that the council would like removed from the consent agenda to be discussed or voted on separately? I see none. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a second?
Second.
Sita, would you please take the roll?
Councilwoman Lombardi,
Yes.
Councilman Rouse,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Council President Ern.
Yes.
I would just like to thank everyone for putting through the Ethel Road West. That's been needed for quite some time, and that's in my ward. So thank you.
Item number 11, announcements and comments from officials. Councilwoman Lombardi?
No, just that we had our first concert last Thursday evening. It was a very good success. And we have the next one coming up this Thursday over at the Columbus Park. And National Night Out is also coming up on August 1st.
Thank you, Michelle. Councilman Rouse?
No comments.
Councilman Shaw?
We have on Passport Processing Senior Center at July 19th and September. So anybody residents interested for new passport or renewal U.S. passport, they can contact the senior center. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dacey?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Baker?
Nothing, Council President.
And I have no comment. Item number 12, agenda session for August 15th, 2023. Ordinance on a second reading at Chapter 20, Land Subdivision, and Chapter 24, Site Plan Review. This will be open to the public resolution. Okay. Item number 13, open to the public for remote attendees. If you wish to speak at this time, please raise your hand either on Zoom app or by pressing *9. When it's your turn to speak, you will receive or hear a request to unmute yourself. Please click the prompt or press *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. At that time, please state your name and address and know that you have 3 minutes in which to make your comments. The council or administration will respond if necessary after you've completed any comments or questions.
Council President, I'm asking the first individual with their hand raised to unmute themselves.
Hello. Hi, my name is Holly Cox. I'm a 25-year Montville, New Jersey resident. I'm here again to ask you to stop the resolution opposing the power plant because polluted air, which is exacerbated by the climate crisis, affects us all. At the last meeting, I gave a lot of details regarding the amount of pollution this CPV plant will produce and the dangers of building a new fossil fuel plant in an overburdened community during a climate crisis. As a reminder, this new CPV plant in Woodbridge will pollute our air with 2.3 million tons of carcinogenic pollutants and greenhouse gas emissions every year. This will have devastating effects for years to come on our health and lock us into decades more of climate killing emissions. This is exactly the right time to pass a resolution against a new fossil fuel plant. I'm sure you noticed that since our last meeting, we've had dangerously high air quality alerts where our air ranked as some of the worst in the world, and where at my home, the air outside had an eerie yellow glow and was so thick with the smell of burning trees that even my young adult sons didn't hesitate to wear a mask whenever they went outdoors. I'm sure you noticed too that in just the last couple weeks, dangerous amounts of torrential rains caused major towns to be flooded and major roads to be washed away in New Jersey, New York, Vermont, and other northeastern states. Also, did you know the world just experienced the 7 hottest days on Earth in all of recorded history? Extreme climate events are happening here and now. Extreme weather events are what climate change looks like, and they're caused by burning fossil fuels. It's caused by frack gas power plants, exactly like the kind CPV wants to build practically in your backyard. I want to emphasize too the urgency regarding the NJDEP permitting process. It's fair to say the DEP is close to ruling on CPV's application, asking for permission to pollute our air. It's been a 6+ year long application process that is finally nearing its end. Although New Jersey's environmental justice rules took effect, this project is grandfathered in, so it's up to local leaders like yourselves to try to protect your residents by adopting the resolution and sending a message, just like 16 other elected bodies have done. It's obvious we can no longer ignore the dangers that climate change and air quality pose to all of us. At this point, building any fossil fuel plant does not make financial sense or common sense. It is urgent that we all do our part to take the actions necessary to say no to fossil fuels and hasten the transition to clean energy. We need you as elected leaders to protect us. I thus respectfully ask if you will please put the Woodbridge Power Plant resolution on your agenda soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Cox.
Council President, there are no other remote attendees with their hand raised for this agenda item.
I'm going to close the remote portion. For in-person attendees, if you wish to speak at this time, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and know that you have 3 minutes in which to make your comments. You may take a seat after completion of your comments or questions, and the council administration will then respond if necessary. Please push the button on the...
And hold it.
You have to hold it down.
Costas Efthymios, 58 Curtis. My complaint still stands. Not too long ago, you sent us a flyer, a beautiful laminated sheet, telling us how great Piscataway is. You should have sent that to people in Alaska or even Hawaii. They would have believed you. I didn't. Anyone here can come and walk down Curtis Avenue to Mansfield Road. Tell me what you see. Why isn't 7th curbed yet? Why isn't Washington curbed yet? Why do you still plant trees between the walkway and the curb and not maintain them? Thank you.
Thank you. Are you pressing the button on the microphone, sir? Press the button, the little button on...
Hold the button.
You're
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Gordon Driscoll, 55 International Avenue in Piscataway. As you know, they're doing construction on our street, and it's both ends are closed, and there's police guarding both ends. As a resident there, in order to get in and out, I have, even out, I mean, I'm coming out and I have to explain myself to the officers that are there. Coming back in, I have to do it every day. There's a new officer there. I have to explain that I'm there, and they tell me that, well, we're doing construction here, which I know because I got the letter. I live there. I see it. But I get stopped every day, and I have to explain that I live there. I'm just curious as to whether, because there's like 50-some houses on our street, if you could issue some kind of identifier for our mirror or our dashboard that would identify us as a resident, rather than, I've already spoken to the traffic safety officer who told me to make my own sign and see if that works. I didn't find that satisfactory. Last Tuesday, I left. I was gone a half an hour. I came back. The officer that was on duty was very young. He got out of his car and went, "Stop!" and had his other hand on his holster. This is for me to go home. Now, I told Mike Smith about this, and he told me that I must have pulled up in some threatening manner. I didn't. He was overzealous with authority. I really need to just, it's great that you're doing this road, but I need to get in and out of my street without having to go through that, especially when someone, I could see how things escalate today with people with his hand on his gun because I'm trying to pull up my street. It was really uncalled for. But all I'm asking for is maybe some consideration that you could issue some kind of identifier.
Thank you. First off, how long do we anticipate that project to be?
Till September.
Okay,
Reconstruction over there.
Right.
We're doing International now. We did Brotherhood.
you got,
So
yeah.
we've done a lot of construction over there, and they're very long streets, and they're very work.
So we can look into doing something that makes it a little easier for the residents to
I will
get into their street.
I'll talk to Captain Pilch tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do.
We will definitely look into something.
We could put tags on their car or something, or on the dashboard?
We're doing about 20 streets right now throughout town, so.
It's just a suggestion, and just to make our lives easier while it's going on. I think it's great that you're upgrading the road, even though you're coming in 10 feet of my property, and I could probably put a drive-through window and smell smoothies out of it now. But
Let's see what the traffic division has to say, if we can come up with some sort of a resolution.
I did speak to Mike Smith, traffic safety officer, who really gave me no satisfaction. I called Waller's office. She referred me to the engineer, who told me I was in the wrong place, referred me to Mike. Then I spoke with him, and it's still going on. And, you know, there's two of us. There's only 50-some houses on our street. It's not really that long of a street. It's not like Brotherhood, you know, which took over a year to complete, you know. So it's really a simple request that you give us some kind of identifier. It's not that hard.
Okay, thank you.
I have to hold this down for
Yes,
the
you have to
full
hold that
time?
button down when you speak.
Okay, I'm Sid Madison. I live in Piscataway on Blackford Avenue. I'm going to speak on the same thing that Holly Cox, who was the only virtual person that spoke. It's about the CPV gas plant in Woodbridge. I'm here to support the same position that she gave for the same reasons. I'll just read what I have. My last appearance at this building was supported by the position of, to support the position of Empower New Jersey, which would also stop the Woodbridge power plant that's proposed. It would stop all of them, which is a much better idea, but you should at least stop the one that's closest to us. For background, Governor Murphy has set the following goals: a 50% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 and 100% renewable energy grid by 2035. Not having another fossil fuel plant would be in agreement with those goals. Allowing a fossil fuel plant is opposed to those goals. Climate science is absolutely clear. We should not be building more fossil fuel infrastructure. The health implications of another polluting gas plant is absolutely clear. It will make our already poor air quality worse. The economics are as follows if the plant is built. First, there will be an increase to ratepayers for the proposed plant. Second, As time goes on, there will be more increases to ratepayers because fossil fuels are going to cost more in the future. Third, yeah, and the plants will require maintenance. Third, to satisfy the governor's goals, will again see an increase to remove the plant in order to achieve the 2035 goal. By the time this plant is built, it'll be in action less than 10 years before it has to be taken away. And then we're going to pay for that too. It's crazy. All these increases could be avoided by not allowing the proposed plant. Your job is to make things better for your constituents. Pass the resolution because it is morally right to do it. It will keep our air quality from getting worse. And lastly, it will save ratepayers additional costs. And very lastly, I have a shirt on from 2012, July of 2012. It's against fracking. If this plant goes in, there'll be more fracking. Now, that's not a direct cost to us. It's mostly in Pennsylvania, but it's bad. It's bad. So you ought to consider getting this resolution passed. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. No, you already had your 3 minutes, sir. I'm going to close the public portion. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.